I'll go with this. And Jesus Christ, my eyes out afterwards. And it's just I really kind of didn't expect it. So the burnout thing for me turned out to be connected to my mother's death. Since then, she died almost 18 years ago. But it's amazing how it appeared. The striving part, when I tried to connect to it, I kind of couldn't find it, because this is what it has been afterwards. It's like my feeling about striving part is like it's not really active. And it's kind of this part is tired. It used to be very active and very, very optimistic and super energetic. So what appeared right after I felt it's tired and not active, I felt kind of like a pregnancy. And I thought, oh, my mom pregnant, mother pregnancy with me in the womb. And then what I have sometimes is this kind of bloating around abdominal area. It's like a belt around. It feels like, or it's not really weight. It's like just a bloating, and then I remembered, and it was shown to me that started after my mother's death, after she died. That's I never had this problem before, and so the protector. Classic for me, like protect you from people who don't understand you, who might hurt you. So the impact is, for me, I would overeat sometime, or overeat, or just to feel this kind of bloating around, heaviness around. I would think this is it would work sometime as a grounding for me, but it's not. I just realize it. It would just keep me from going out to socializing, going out to do something very, very productive for myself, basically. Keeping me away from life, basically. So what you afraid of? You get emotionally hurt. Classic for me. The biggest fear, if you get emotionally hurt, you'll will stay alone for the rest of your life. This is kind of what I'm living, what I've been living, kind of as isolating myself after what we both went through with my mom, and then she died, and then I kind of died. And so it started. I asked for the age 30, and it appeared my age 35 when she died. That was the age. It wasn't the young age. That was the thing. Yeah. And so the belief I firmed at that time, because I was so broke, I was like emotionally broken. I never thought that life can, you hear the stories, the life stories of people, how life kind of broke them, for the lack of a good word for me right now. And that's how I felt. I never thought that something could break me, basically. So, and it felt in my spine area, even though my spine is okay, thank God, but something got broken there, energetically. It's like, half. Oh, and so the belief is, don't get too close to men. Don't get too hurt, and stay away from men. Keep them away. That's what I've been doing successfully. His name is Patrick, of the maybe Saint Patrick. the protector. What needs to happen so you will relax, Patrick's? The word is breathing technique.
Wow.
Find a breathing technique. I need to find something like this, or maybe qigong or something, but breathing to keep me centered and grounded instead of this bloating thing, which happens periodically. And then critic appeared as a very bloated ball. It's just a funny image, funny, yeah, funny creature. And intention: don't get hurt, don't get broken. Impact: the critic creates in my life. Basically, stay away from all the bullshit people. What you afraid would happen to me? Hurt. If that happens, hurt. Your biggest fear is also, I've heard it a few times, die alone. You will die alone. When did it started? And then it came up, it started in my mother's womb. So it started in my mother's womb. The legacy, is it this life or past life? No, this is this life, and it's related to my mother and to my father. Maybe, I think probably it's a point of conception. Maybe it feels like now. Belief created. Not good enough, not strong enough, not resilient enough, not smart enough. This kind of stuff. And what to do? The word is love, and then self-love. Very clear.
Bravo. Wow.
Very clear. I didn't expect that again appear about like my mother death and so.
Yeah, so the outcome of this, which is interesting to do, is to both heal the 35-year-old and the Margarita at the time of conception. They both carry, they are the exiles. And you can do it anyways, including how you do it in coherence healing. I mean,
Okay.
yeah,
To
or
go through 35
through
years.
through the session, correct.
Okay. And the moment of conception, this kind of my mom, the belief I'm not strong enough.
Correct.
No.
Yeah, and you will find the little being. What you may, we have not done that, but try it, because while there is no reference of a dialogue or an event there, however, your higher self knows, because that's what it said. There is and so there is a point there. So you can absolutely go to the little one and bring her in front of you and have all the conversation. It may not have words, but it'll tell you exactly how it felt.
Basically in the womb, yeah? Like
Yeah, absolutely. Good.
how it felt. Okay. Connect to feeling.
You connect to that little being just coming into the world, and then see her and talk to her as if you're talking to an energy field. Wow, real good.
Oh,
Well done.
and oh God, it's just amazing, Manu, how you do that.
No, it's not me, it's your system. And that's why I always tell to everybody, it's your system. When your system opens up and starts to open up, it just does unbelievable stuff.
And can I ask you about, so the answer, the belief created by that little one apparently coming from mom and dad, yeah? At the
That is
moment of conception.
that
Not
could be
good.
legacy burden.
Legacy burden.
Yeah, that could be legacy burden, because she would say it's not mine. This is what I heard, or they had it, And so what you then do is to do a legacy unburdening from where it came from. Did it come from mother? Did it come from father? Sometime from both. Then you do both. Okay.
And so that, and then the answer that I received what to do was like love.
Love, yeah.
Basically practice it. Yeah, isn't it?
Self-love. It's what you're doing.
Yeah.
You are already doing. Yeah, you're doing it. So you can, this is what you're doing, but you can, so what you do is, you know that you are always, we always say, for next few days, connect to those parts and just ask them simple question. As you connect to that next time, ask it what needs to happen. You can always ask, saying, can you guide me on that? How to do? Your parts, when they get unblended, which is what you've done unblending, and you ask them the key questions. Now they can basically be supportive to you, saying, oh, she understands me, why I do this, etc. Because till now I was the critic. That's why we call it a critic, or the one that makes me do hard work. Okay. Now she understands why I do that, and she will work with the exile, okay, with the traumatic little younger one. Then it becomes easy for it to tell you and become your guide. And so you can ask questions. So tell me how to do self-love. It'll tell you.
Yes, because for everyone is different.
For everyone, it's different. For
How
example,
you
for you, breathing, as you said. So what type of breathing? You can also ask the question, saying, what type
ask
of
the
breathing?
question. Perfect.
Your system knows. We have to, it's not anybody can know. Your system absolutely knows what is right for you. When you hear it from a place of compassion and curiosity, at least those two C's.
I just a little bit lost here because the first part told me about the one,
Breathing.
the old one, 35 years old one.
Yes. Yeah.
So I need to talk to this exile and ask about the
Through
breathing
the
technique and
no,
stuff.
no, 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 no. They are two separate things. To do the exile, you do the healing trauma, the one, right? You have that recording, okay?
Yeah.
Okay, you go to this part, you ask permission, go to the 35-year-old, and then you work with the 35-year-old and you help her to be free, okay?
Yeah.
However, when you ask the question, what needs to happen for it to relax? He said, breathing. You can also ask to the part, the first one, saying, what kind of breathing technique is good for me? I'll tell you.
So I don't. Jesus. It's something like apparently my parts I'm messing up right now with me. It's like, do I need to connect to striving part?
Yes,
I do.
you can do it now as well. It's there. You got him. You got a name. You can anytime. I talk to my parts while I'm walking, driving. They're always with you. All you need to do is to say, okay, I'm going to connect to you. I'm curious. I'm compassionate, because that's important. Otherwise, they don't talk. And then you ask a question, saying, okay, by the way, I have this question. You told me.
How it works for me? I just sit, I like breathe a sentence, and I say, I'm here, and then boom, it
Yeah,
appears.
there you go. Exactly. So this is because you're curious. When you say, I sit, I'm here, curiosity.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even if you take a piece of paper and write a question, stay curious, you get an answer, it's from the part. Parts are, they're part of you. That's why they're called parts. They're always there, always present.
Yeah, I just need to keep doing it because right now I'm worried that I will not do it right and I will miss some parts
No, you
and
will not. You will not. Trust me. So
confusion.
this is how you have to, is part of your story, is you have to start to learn to trust yourself that I am always going to do right. As long as I'm in love and compassion, I will do it the right way.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much.
You're most
Thank you.
welcome. You're most welcome. Okay, here you go. Susanna, go ahead, my dear. You also wrote a question as well.
Yeah, exactly. I'd rather not be recorded.
Okay, hold on. Wait.
Sorry, guys, I just didn't see any other hands on the screen, but I have a question, and I wanted to ask you this question before IFS. Mano, I shared that you wonder what can I do with IFS, maybe that I ended 29 old friendship like recently, 1 week ago, and it has been a tough relationship. I went into absolutely nowhere. In the town, I had nowhere to go basically, but I found a shelter. Anyways, the miracle has happened. But I mean, every day now, once a day, I'm thinking, oh my God, was it the right decision? What if I've done a wrong decision? What? It's just a
Okay.
little part of me saying that, and
So first,
and
here
I
is
ended up because this person, I couldn't take it anymore. It was
correct.
not love. It was not respect.
Yeah, that you shared. There are, because we can intellectualize it, but what I understand is that sometime breaking can create, if both part, and so I will say it at an intellectual level, then you go inside and see how it works for you. Sometime break creates space for both to renegotiate the bond.
Yeah.
And I've done it with my family, so twice second almost broken, and I found that that breaking actually created space for renegotiation and rebonding. So it can happen, and I'm not saying that's what you do, but I'm just saying that do not think that the breaking is such a big story. It's the only way that if this person has to come back into your life, you are going to renegotiate your contract with each other, because those terms that you were working before were no more valid for who you are becoming, Margarita.
Yes, because I've changed. I couldn't
You've
take it
changed.
anymore.
Correct. Exactly. Now, if the person has to come back, it has to come back with new conditions.
Yeah.
And so, if that makes sense, you can allow your systems to say, well, we can, but not that way.
I kind of feel it, and she might need to take a long time to do so.
And
I
that's
have no idea. I have no time frame for it.
and that's okay. When you say that and you feel it, you will feel a lot of compassion for you.
Okay.
Well, you'll feel a lot of compassion for you because it's respecting your boundary. At the same time, you saying this was right thing to have done. And it's not like I hate you and I don't want to be with you. No. Okay. Because there was something there which bonded you together for so many years. But the contract had to be redone. It happens a lot within family, a lot between couples. I mean, I've seen that. I do couple
Yeah, it
therapy,
also happened with my brother. We haven't been
and
spoken
with your and especially with your siblings, etc. And but once you go into your element, once you get into your power within you,
Oh
then
my
the only
God, it's 100% truth.
you will only take in with new. Otherwise, you say, "I'm sorry, it's here." I can tell you, I'm living that example where, with some people, we have renegotiated. It's a different story, and hence it's thriving. And with others, it's okay. They don't come back with that same story, so it's bye bye, and it's okay.
Yeah. So to say that I'm open on a different condition to restore,
if it has to.
if it has to, if it must. But you said something so amazing. You said, go into your element. This is perfect. Yeah.
Because this, when you went out of your element, is because that's why you suffered.
Yeah.
And if the other person is doing the same, they do that. You know, when we do couple therapy with IFS, this is what you do. Basically, you have 3 people sitting, 2, and then you ask them to go into their elements, each other, and then see if they can renegotiate their contracts and their day-to-day behavior or not. If they do, some do, really, some do completely change, and it works.
Yeah. Wow.
Because
But I cannot
remember
do
at the
it all the
core,
time. I can only work on me.
exactly. There you go. That's the other thing. You cannot, but you can always, your part can always explain this is acceptable and this is not acceptable. So that's taking your power back.
Yes. This is what I explained to her, basically. I did.
Brilliant. Exactly.
She didn't take it.
So just, yeah. And if she's not ready, she'll not take it, and that's okay for you. But you did your part. So your part will be very pleased with you. And so it's very blend. It's like, yeah, wow, well done, Margarita. You stood for yourself.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you. No more questions. Thank you, Mother.
You're
Yeah,
of course.
Thanks for, thanks for continuing to do these sessions. You said something about it was about like these things have to be credible to your system, or they have to become credible to your system. And I think like the going inwards and asking myself and trying to not be critical or suspicious of what comes up, or like write it off, or like even between the, oh, I didn't expect to get emotional about this, but I guess it's just I think trusting myself in what comes up is sort of difficult, and saying that it's okay to like listen to what comes up, but like even like between the critical or the, what was it,
The one wanting to striving.
the striving, yeah. I have a hard time reading my writing. Those 2 voices are like, even as you're talking about the 4 types, the 4 protectives that come up, my mind goes like, well, what's the real difference between them when they all seem to manifest? And like I sort of struggle to find like the difference, because it feels like they all converge to the same spot almost.
Yeah, that's fair.
And like
The only difference is you will find them having at core level they okay, so the difference is what their intention is and how they impact your day to day. Okay. Okay, so that's where the difference comes up. Okay, so sometime, okay, they come up this way because then they will impact in a certain way. Okay, so you call the striving, for example, it's what is impacting your day-to-day life by making you, work harder, okay, etc. And the critic is the one that is being critic to you. But you are right, as we saw in some cases, is that they have a perspective. The real story for us is we start from the hook, because how do you start from a hook when we talk about burnout? And you start from the hook and then you go down, deep down, and you'll find they are all very interconnected and very interrelated to each other. And as you said, you're coming from the same place, which is okay, which is fine. Okay. The important thing is to identify the protectors. That's what you do, and then to start to unburden them. Because as long as they stay burdened, then you cannot, they will not leave their position of extreme, what they are carrying, and then you stay in the same place, okay? Like we were saw before in the example or the discussion before, okay? That's what happens. So now back to you. You said you are,
Uh-huh.
when you write, you feel emotional because you feel you're not trusted, something like that. That's what you use the word.
Yeah, I think you had said that these things have to be credible in your system, or they have to become credible. And like I wasn't emotional while I was writing it, but I think oftentimes I have a hard time hearing myself or like believing it. And I think it's almost like a fear of I think I kind of wanted to ask you, like, have you ever had it where you listen to what comes up for you and it turns out bad? Like, I think there's a fear that oh, I'm just gonna waste my time if I try to do something, or why should I even do what they're saying anyways? Because how do I know that's gonna bring me to a better place? Almost an excuse to not even try something different. I don't know.
So, okay, so what is coming up is another part that feels, how do you call, it feels unsafe, or it feels very vulnerable.
Uh-huh.
Okay, that's what it feels. And so see if you can first go to this one. So the one that is now saying, I don't know what is going to happen or what am I going to hear.
Uh-huh.
Have a conversation with that one.
Okay.
Okay. But in the beginning, sometime as you are blended with, as we call the word blended with the part, then you feel the emotion of the part. So this is a part of you that feels very emotional, because you can hear, okay? Okay, that says, I don't know if I can hear if I'm not going to be overwhelmed with what I hear when I ask a question, okay? Right, so it's a protector. Is trying you not to even hear what your part will say, because it feels that it will overwhelm you, okay? Now, see if you can say, I get you, I understand, this is a role you're playing, okay? Can I have a conversation with you? Where do you feel it in your body, by the way?
Oh. Right now I feel it in my head,
In your
around these
head?
spots.
Okay, there you go. So,
Or
how do you
between.
feel? How do you feel? Are you feel still emotional?
Um, I don't know.
A little
It
curious?
feels okay. Yeah.
Little bit curious? Okay. So just be curious.
Sure.
Just be
Yeah.
curious. And ask it saying, what do you want me to know? And what do you hear? The first thing you hear.
Quiet, maybe.
Saying?
Quiet.
Quiet. It wants to be quiet.
It wants to feel quiet. I
Okay.
don't know. At least
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
what comes
Yeah,
up.
yeah, that's good. Yeah. This is what he's saying. And I want
Very
to hear
sad. It
quiet.
comes up when your mic is being used, it seems like. But not all the time, but frequently. And then there was a slight echo too. But
Okay.
yeah, it's kind of weird. I know it usually doesn't do that.
Okay. So maybe my microphone is acting.
Maybe it's a cord or something.
Well, let me see if I can switch to a different microphone. Give me one
Thank
second.
you. Oh, I can't hear you yet.
Oh, okay, now it should come.
Oh,
Is it better?
It is,
Is
yeah.
better. Yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
this guy.
Thank
This-
you.
okay. Okay. So see if you can. So it's saying quietness. It will. This is what it wants. Quietness. Ask it, saying, "What are you afraid would happen to me? What is it afraid?"
That I might be wrong.
Yeah. Okay. And what is the consequence of that?
Like I'll sever relationships around me, or like I'll undo what I've put effort into. Like when you were going through the four things, the pleaser stood out to me a lot. But,
We are going to work on it in next session.
oh,
Okay. So there you go. So this is the pleaser, that it's afraid of getting hurt. Okay. Ask it since when it is feeling like this.
um, I don't know. I think a lot of things root back to like one of the earliest lessons I learned, I think, on repeat was if I talked too much, or if I like had strong feelings, that I got in trouble or I got hit or something, and like
From
um
whom? From where?
from
At home?
home. Yeah. Like even one of the things that came up was like, I think, which I thought, which was one of the critical parts, is like, oh, maybe it started from before birth, because like I was like a really quiet, easy baby, and like I think I grew up in my mom's womb with like a lot of yelling anyway, like while I was
There you go. There you go.
developing, and so like I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it's
No, it is. It is. So,
from the
so say. So, can you say to this part of you that you hear it, feel it here, saying, "I hear you. I understand where it comes from."
uh,
Yeah. Just say, "Okay, I hear you. I understand where you come from, and I feel compassion for you to carry this for all this time." Can you feel compassion? Just stay there.
it's it's so hard because I think of like everything that everyone else went through, and I feel bad. Like, why do I have to make space for me? I'm like,
This
what
is what
about
it wants.
everyone else?
This is
Like,
what it wants.
why do I deserve to like have this type of space when like other people can't do it too?
There you
Like,
go. There. This is what we hear you. This is what he's saying. Why do I have to create space for everybody else? What about me? What about us? Yeah. So can you let it know that you know what? What if we can, this part and you can have a dialogue and continue and have a conversation to know all the pain that you went through, all the thing that you have been carrying for so long. Would it agree to have a conversation? Only with you. Yeah.
yeah, I get it. I mean, I think that's what we're trying, but like, I think for
No?
some, like,
Yeah, just say, no, we are going to have a conversation. Just you and me, just this part. Ask it if it can tell you his name, saying, how do I call you? Now, will you feel it in your head? I'll give you a name.
this is blank. I think the name's blank.
Blank, exactly. Got it. Yeah, that's okay. So saying blank, I hear you. Okay. I see you. I understand where you come from, when it all started. And if you agree, we can do work together. Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah, it's saying okay. How do you feel?
I don't know if I I think I want to, but I like
You're afraid of feeling this way differently?
I'm not sure if it's like good to like force it because it's like it's like it has such a reluctance, it seems, to like be okay with I know, programs and teaching me like, oh, everyone, like the whole universe, there's more at play than just me, but it's like it's hard to feel like it's unfair, like to not feel like it's unfair and like I don't know if that makes sense that like other people are
Absolutely.
suffering and like they don't it doesn't add up. Like I could logically work through like it's okay, like you could listen to yourself, but then at the same time it's like, well,
It wants to talk, it wants to express, it wants to share its pain. You are sharing its pain. You are speaking for it.
no.
And you're
And I
crying.
guess it's kind of confused of like maybe it's just frustrated that like there's so much pain, like not just like I feel like my pain's so small compared to like what everyone else is experiencing.
No,
Like
no,
not
no.
just
Your
you,
pain
but
is
like
big. Your pain is big. Your
like my
pain is
mom or
as
my dad or like even before them or like even my friend who like committed suicide. Like it's just when do they get listened to? Like when do they get cared about and when is it enough
yeah,
for like them to like get some like support too for like their deepest parts? Like will that ever be heard and like all those things and like what?
there you go.
Why is it even my concern? Like
No, they are not. Your concern is first about being heard yourself.
why does it calculate that way? Like I don't understand that. Like there's even nice people like you in the world who can like give and I know you've taken care of yourself, but it's just like I don't
But I was like you when I had my burnout. I was exactly like you. I used to cry and cry and cry. No, not less than 12 years ago. I used to sit and cry for days and binge and watch all the dark things because what happened to me. No, you had. We all go through this, and going through this, like we were talking to Melanie before, this aspect of you speaking up is somehow saying, I'm done with this. I don't want to carry this burden, this pain anymore. Show me a path. I'm ready to do it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it's
Does the and there is no judgment on one pain is bigger than the other pain. The other one. Your pain is your pain. One of the biggest challenge with anybody going through mental health story is that it's not physical. People say, well, if I break my leg, if I have a disease, if I have this, everybody can see it and they can, because it's very physical.
uh-huh.
What about when you go through something like this? Nobody can see outside. It sometimes appears like everything should be normal, and it's not. And it's not.
Mhm.
And your pain is your pain. And that's why you come. You have been here for every session. You're coming up. And today it's saying, I have to speak up. I'm done. Enough. Okay? And you did speak up. You're speaking for your part in pain, which is called blank. This is the one that is the first one that needs to be heard loved, understood, given your unconditional love. Okay? And when it'll tell you its stories, it'll have so many stories. It has so many stories. He's saying it started when I was in mother's womb. And that since then I've been, there's been yelling, there's been that going on, there's all that stuff. I had to adapt. So all the pain. And so it said, well, the best way is to keep quiet, but it cannot do it anymore. Okay?
Yeah. Like even when you say to like, or even when other therapists say too, to like breathe out through the mouth or like make some auditory sound or something, like there's this like, well, it's much more comfortable to like keep it just in, like even when no one's around or even if I'm on mute, it's like, it's just
Yeah.
my
Because
default.
it's afraid, because of this one, because of blank.
Mhm.
Blank build a belief that keeping quiet was the best safety mechanism. That's what it believes. And where did it start the belief? It started its belief from the time of conception. And it still carries that to this date. So start with blank, do it very gently and very lovingly. Remember, it's like you are, I don't know if you have a pet or a baby or whoever, anybody that you have dealt with. We have probably done it for others. Now you do for yourself. Okay? Okay? So do it for you. Very lovingly, very gently, very caring. Hold it and work with the blank and ask the blank saying, where did it start? It already told you. Started when you were in womb. So go to the little girl in the womb and help her to be free. It may take you a few days, few repetition. That's okay. And when it feels heard, then it'll start to make you saying, okay, yeah, we can hear other parts within you first. Because for the moment, it doesn't allow you to hear anybody else speaking because it's so overwhelmed. Because it said hearing is painful. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
So ask to blank saying, are you okay that we can work together for a few days and see how does it respond?
I think it's okay with it. It is kind of quiet.
It's okay.
When you said your pain is your pain, like it made total sense that like we have the responsibility for that. Like
It,
I
it
think
got
my
validated.
brain, what's
It
that?
got validated.
Uh,
It got acknowledged.
yeah. I think my heart understands it, but my brain is sort of like, what if? Like, what if I can't? Or like, what if it's too much of a burden? Or like, oh, I don't want to. Or like,
Yeah, yeah. But this is how the brain works. Its job is to protect you unconditionally without thinking of consequences.
the brain's not always right, I guess.
It believes it's always right, but when it feels compassion and curiosity, then it may hear to the heart.
Uh,
That's why intuition starts to work better when we feel safe within. See? And intuition comes from the heart. Okay. Otherwise, the brain blocks the intuition, saying nope. And so that's why.
That's so interesting.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Thank you, Manu.
Thank you, Lynn, and thank you for your blank part that came up and spoke. And so we are going to be in touch. So what I recommend you do is you go to the healing trauma one, start with blank. Ask it to come in, have a conversation. If it doesn't allow you to work with the little one yet, that's okay. Go back again next day. And if it allows to work with the little one, then you do, and you repeat till they all feel that they have let go, and you'll feel lighter. And then when we come back next time, you come. Yeah.
Thank you.
Bless you. Thank you for coming up, saying that. Okay. Thank you, everyone. I'm going to